Predict the 3 teams that will have the biggest offseason in the NBA. So my number 1 and 2 are pretty clear. My
biggest
number 3
offseason.
Yes, like they're probably
Could
gonna
be
they're
good,
gonna
bad,
make
it's
the
just gonna be
biggest
bigs.
moves.
Phoenix Suns, man.
Team that you think's gonna really do a lot to maybe improve or maybe not.
To
improve
me,
their team.
number 1, I would have the Rockets. I think the Rockets are in a prime position to make a big move because they saw how great their defense can be. They know they're a piece away on offense. Number 2, believe it or not, I still believe it's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think the Thunder realize they have a legitimate chance to solidify themselves as the best team of maybe the 21st century. There's a chance to be that with how much assets they have.
Ooh.
And I understand that there's been some amazing teams
hard.
in our time.
2017 Warriors.
And I want to say that more so on an organizational level because the 2017-2018 Warriors obviously are OP. We understand that.
Fuck that. 2016-2017
But
Warriors.
you look at how many assets the Thunder have, how amazing they are on top of the amount of assets that they have. And like I've said in the past, I believe this version of the Thunder is just scratching the surface of how genuinely amazing that they can be. They have so many different ways that they can get better next year. I'm going to put the Thunder at number 2, and number 3, I'm going to have the New York Knicks because they understood that they were extremely close to reaching their goal, and that was the NBA championship. I think that for the Knicks organization, their goal was 2 things: to beat the Boston Celtics and to make the Eastern Conference Finals because you haven't done so in 25 years. They accomplished both of those goals. So for that, I'll give them the credit of having a successful season, but you guys know how I operate. You don't win a championship, to me, I'm still not counting as a success when you did what you searched out to do. And we thought that by beating Boston, that would be the final boss task, and then you disappoint us against the Indiana Pacers. There's obviously a window for them to be better next season. And with all the conversations of either a Kevin Durant, a Giannis Antetokounmpo, with Kevin Durant being one of the guys that they were trying to target at the trade deadline, they realized that there's an opportunity for them to get better as well. They fell short at the deadline, but I think that it's going to be their mission this offseason to go ahead and get the job done to get to that next level.
If you have OKC at 2, you think they're getting Giannis?
Fair enough. This was ranking. I'm just listing 3 teams.
That's fair.
I think that if I'm going in the ranking of who I think will make the best moves, I still would go Rockets 1. I would go Knicks 2, OKC 3. I have 3 because I think that OKC, of all the teams that have a chance to get Giannis, the team with the best package, with the best chance to get him, is Oklahoma City.
So if you're OKC, you win a championship, you would still go get Giannis.
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. However,
they stayed pat at the
if
deadline.
they decided to do that, I'd understand.
Me too. I think they stayed pat at the deadline, rocked with their team. They won a championship. I could see them maybe making like marginal moves, but for the most part, running it back. For me, number 1 is Phoenix. I just have this gut feeling they're both going. Like I really do firmly believe both of them will be traded before the start of the 2025-2026 season. Yes, that's correct. I keep forgetting.
You heard about Devin Booker's 2-year extension, right?
Yeah, and I think he'll get the money. But I think like you're in a situation, and I understand Devin Booker and Mars made this tweet. Shout out to Mars. It was a great tweet. He said something like, I don't know it in verbatim, but he was like, the guys that are between the 14th to 20th ranked guys that are probably going to get Supermax contracts are hard to build around because those are the guys you don't build around. But they're going to get the franchise money, but they're not going to be getting the top 10 expectations. And I think Devin Booker is of that, where I think he's at an age where if you plop him into a foundation already, he can be your guy. But I don't think he's at that age where you can start over again. And I think that's where the Suns need to be. They're incomplete. Like, I think they can retool and maybe be like a 8th seed, 7th seed in the West. But do you really, like, if you're Devin Booker, do you really want to go through that again? You know, if you're Devin Booker, do you want to sit through another couple years of bottom of the West or, you know, the lottery and stuff like that? I think he tasted winning. I think he's tasted losing too much. And I think he wants to get his money. I think he will get his money. And I think he also wants to win. And I think he's a guy that's going to see. I don't see Kevin Durant being here past the lottery.
No.
Like past the draft.
He's going to get traded.
Like Kevin Durant's getting traded. And I think Phoenix, if they trade Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, they will get a haul. And I think that's, for me, that's number 1. Number 2 for me is probably the Pelicans. I think they're sneaky. I think they're a team that you can sneaky see make some moves. I think they're not fully bought in to their core, and I know we've talked about it a ton about them having a plethora of talent. Trey Murphy, Herb Jones is one of the best role players in the league. Zion Williamson, you still have him. I think CJ McCollum's a quality role player too. But I also think they're in a situation where you can't stay healthy. And being that you can't stay healthy, you still have talent, but you still have talent that's like, you still have this puzzle that's still trying to figure out what piece goes where. And I think they're like sitting there like, what do we do? I think this is a team that has a ton of talent that could be moved. Number 3 for me is Boston. I could see Porzingis and Drew getting moved this offseason for money purposes. I could see them having a real shot against Giannis. I don't think they will, but I think they do have a real shot at getting him. If the Bucks plan on maybe wanting to retool or something like that, they have the players for it. But Boston being as if they're going to move Porzingis this offseason, they probably might move Drew. And if you move those two guys who were being in talks for being low, well, Porzingis was definitely an all-star caliber player. Drew probably on the low spectrum, like the bridge between high-quality starter and
high-quality role player.
Yeah, like high-quality starter and then like low-end all-star. He's like the bridge between that. You're moving 2 really important pieces that just helped you propel you to a championship. So those are my 3 teams.
So I kind of separated this from buyers and sellers. Because I think this all season is going to be the busiest we've seen since 2019. There's 3 expected buyers to me, teams I think should go out and actively seek ways to upgrade. Those teams are going to be the Warriors, the Knicks, the last one is the Rockets. My 3 sellers, I had the Pelicans in a TBD range with a new GM that has not drafted any of these players, has no loyalty to them. What do you do with Trey Murphy? What do you do with Herb Jones? And do you keep Zion? Because I would at this point. There's so many different layers with the Zion storyline I want to get into. My 3 sellers, which are my 3 teams that I expect to be the most active. Number 3 is going to be the Bucks. Dame's going to be out the entirety of next season. You don't have a team nearly good enough to build around Giannis, partly because you have a point guard making $60 million to not play. So I think Giannis does get traded this all season. And my main landing spot for him would be the Knicks. It's going to require them, though, getting up a boatload, every single draft pick they can, plus players. Number 2 for me is going to be the Phoenix Suns. Like you highlighted, I think they trade both stars this all season. I strongly believe Durant plays last game with the team. And if I were the Suns GM and they're moving on, a new head coach, new GM, it makes no sense for them to keep Devin Booker the way they've not been able to build around him, with exception to those few years with Chris Paul. I think it's been the D-Book era in Phoenix is more around its course to me because they can't build around him. I'll look to trade to the Rockets to get their picks back. But the number 1 team to me is going to be the Boston Celtics because it's going to be 2 more years until we see Jason Tatum back playing playoff basketball. Now, the Celtic team's already over the second apron, well over, to a point where I think we talked about this a month ago. A player like Sam Hauser is making $10 million. Will be an $80 million check for their new owner. And when you look at the current players that they have, Drew Holiday's 34, Derek White, who's turning 30, they do not provide the same value to you without Tatum as they would to another team like the Warriors that's trying to get that last piece. So I think there's a possibility this all season the Celtics surprise a lot of people. They don't trade Porzingis because his value is at an all-time low. Why are you going to move him now? And they do move not only Drew Holiday, but a player as good as Derek White as well to get as many picks as they can. You get 4 or 5 picks ideally.
4?
Maybe for Drew, maybe if he doesn't retire,
you're saying
you
both?
Get
I'm sorry.
In separate deals.
I'm sorry.
The hope would be 4.
Mikal Bridges went for 4. Derek White could go for
and
four,
they
four,
look to retool. And they look to retool their entire roster around Tatum and Brown by getting under the second apron. You get yourself financial flexibility. You get yourself an abundance of draft picks, and the Celtics basically rip apart half of that championship team.
If I'm Golden State, I'll definitely send 3 for Derek White.
100%.
Yeah.
I would do it for the Lakers.
Maybe there's a 3rd team in there.
Yo, do you think the Celtics would take Reeves and a first for Derek White?
Like at some point,
dude.
The money doesn't even work. Derek White makes 30.
I love Reeves, but
no 1 first in AR.
Dude,
Troll.
Can we stop underrating AR?
Derek White clears.
Derek White's trade value is very high.
Clears.
So what does he do to Garland?
What do you mean? Garland clears AR.
Okay, I agree with that. That being said, I don't know if he clears actually upon second thought.
That's a bad second thought.
Actually,
no, he doesn't clear him. He doesn't clear him.
Maybe Austin Reeves in a 1st round pick is not the worst.
Yeah,
package.
I know.
I scoffed at it at first, but you had
not
an extra
awful.
first because he's
For
on a great
Derek
contract.
White?
His contract's 4 for 56.
Come on.
You can get
You have
Derek
to pay
White.
Derek White soon.
You can get Derek White
You
for
gotta
way
pay
more
Reeves
than that,
too.
dude.
Yeah, you gotta
Reeves
pay both.
you can get Derek White for way more than AR in the first.
How
I
many
agree.
people are giving you what AR can give you?
What? No defense and offense? A good amount.
Like great offense.
Good amount.
It's great offense.
How many people can give you what Derek White can give you?
Not many.
I
man.
blinked. White got the extension last all season. So,
Yeah,
I don't think it's
think
terrible.
I kind of think they just trade Drew and Porzingis.
No, I think Derek White. You could argue untouchable.
No
you could
way.
argue he's untouchable.
You gave him 2 first-round picks in AR. It's a very good package.
You went for,
2 decent first, you know.
From the Lakers, they're probably
From
going
the
to make
Lakers,
the playoffs.
no.
That's what
Like
I'm
the
saying.
theory of having like a top.
Oh, we
50
can't just make
yeah.
shit up. No, it's the Lakers picks.
Yes and no.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got Luka now, so
It's true.
picks are valuable.
Thank you.
You're not troll.
The 3
He
teams
was
that I
making
think is going to have the biggest off seasons. Number 3, I got the Timberwolves. They have the 17th overall pick, the 31st overall pick, and Nas, Randall, and Alexander Walker are all pieces they could use in potential trades. So I think that alone gives them a lot of options on how they want to approach this offseason. Number 2, the Houston Rockets. They have young talent. They have the picks. They have the 10th overall pick from the Suns. They have the Suns' future picks. They have their own picks as well. I think that they're in a position to make a big-time move. And number 1, I'm surprised none of you guys mentioned it, I'm going with the San Antonio Spurs. I think the Spurs realize that Victor Wembanyama is already an elite top 10 player in the league, and they have the 2nd overall pick. They have the 14th overall pick from the Hawks, and they have a ton of young players that you can match salary with. Like Devin Vassell and Harrison Barnes is making $17 million per year. You can 19.
Yeah.
He's around 17, 19 million per year area. The Spurs have the assets to go make a move, and I think they could realistically go out and get Kevin Durant without using that 2nd overall pick and having the big 3 of Fox, KD, and Wemby. And I think that sounds intriguing. Or they could go big fish hunting and just go out and get Giannis. But I think more realistically, maybe they could get Kevin Durant for not that much of a price. Like I think a trade package with the Suns, it would look a lot like this. It would look like the Suns getting Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, Harrison Barnes, and the 14th overall pick.
For who?
KD.
If he forces his way there, that's a good package. He's only got 1 year left in his deal.
I think Keldon has like 2 years left.
Let me ask you guys a
Keldon's
question.
Dead money.
Would it be the most insane thing to see De'Aaron Fox get traded?
They should trade him.
I'm
No.
being
No, they
genuine when
should.
I say this.
No,
That'd be funny as hell.
Do you need
No.
De'Aaron Fox?
Bro, they're gonna give him a 30% max, and I don't believe it because the amount
That'd
of
be
money
funny
they're
as
paying
shit.
him. I don't believe it's the best thing for Wemby long term.
No.
That'd
You're
be
immediately
yo.
accelerating that
I
timeline.
mean, if you draft
but they
Dylan,
traded him. They
You
traded
draft
him.
Dylan. You package.
you could trade Fox for
De'Aaron-
KD.
I would be very patient. I wouldn't even.
You don't even gotta do it, KD. Yo,
You know
for
what?
KD, yeah.
then you
know
got
what?
Harper,
Fox in the
Castle,
first,
KD,
yeah,
Yo,
Wemby.
That doesn't sound better than Fox, KD.
Promise
and
you it does.
Wemby.
but I'll be honest.
Maybe
For the
long
long
term,
term, exactly.
But I'm thinking right now, like the trade
Dylan
package
Harper's better than Fox.
trade package that
we
I
don't know
listed
that yet.
out.
Stop. We might.
The Spurs would still have Fox, Castle, Vassell, KD, Wemby,
Vassell does
and then
not
they
move
would draft
me.
Dylan Harper. They would have a lot of good
I need a
players
backup
still.
big.
I need Vassell
Can
to
we get
go.
a backup
They need
big?
an extra big.
I need Vassell to go.
No,
That's not a great fit.
no.
They need
He's
the
not-
shooting.
he's
They
not
need the
that
shooting.
good.
6 man
Oh,
off
he's a
the
good
bench
player.
this
He's not
year.
that
He
good.
will
They need the
cook.
shooting,
Please.
It's not that good.
He's a
That's
good
a-
player.
His
That's
shooting's
nuts.
inconsistent.
All right.
Was he shooting 37% from 3 this year?
It's so up
That's
and down.
good.
You don't like a starting lineup of Fox, Castle, Vassell, KD, and Wemby?
That's
No,
too
I feel like Vassell.
I almost said
Sorry,
it's,
we
I
eat
almost
up
said it's too
shot
small,
attempts.
but like
It's not.
it's just Vassell at the 3.
KD's already playing a 4.
You're right.
Vassell eat up shot attempts. I don't want that.
Vassell can go
Or
down
they
and
just
shot attempts.
spot up and shoot.
Oh, that's not really his game.
That's what they got Harrison Barnes for, who might be a piece in one of these trades.
Yo, old but
He's
solid.
32, but he's very stellar as like a 5th starter. But the De'Aaron Fox deal, there was kind of like an agreement between them that they're going to extend him. But when they made that trade, they didn't know they're getting the 2nd overall pick. And I'm high on Dylan Harper, but it's less about the player. And years ago, we had this conversation with Jaylen Brown and the Celtics and giving him a supermax deal. But De'Aaron Fox, I don't think he's a good enough difference maker to be worth the 30% max when you're supposed to maximize Wemby. And when you look at the Thunder, it's been patience. It's been maximizing assets. it hasn't been splurging for stars in the now. Because quite frankly, I think Fox is a good player, but I don't look at him as like a top 20 to 25 guy that is going to take them to immediately contending next season. So I will look to trade him before I give him $200 million.
I'd wait it out and I'd give it one season. Like if I go get
Well,
KD, like
his contract, that
also,
deal's coming now.
Giannis also said, "I look forward to playing with the Bucks next season."
I don't believe that shit one bit. I don't believe it.
But also
Torrey
John,
Prince?
like to be honest, when it comes to like the whole De'Aaron Fox thing with the Spurs, I get in theory you never want to lose a player for nothing. What the Spurs traded to get Fox was essentially nothing.
Yeah, it was not much.
Like it was essentially nothing to where like I would, even if he walks in free agency and I don't extend him beforehand, I wouldn't be like, damn, we didn't get anything for De'Aaron Fox back. Yeah, they didn't give up any premium picks.
Yeah.
I think
they still have the Hawks pick.
They gave Zach Collins
2 and 11,
I think
right?
that's who they gave up. They gave up Zach Collins. That was like the
first.
best player, and Trey Jones. It's like at that point, you know, I'll let Fox test free agency, and if he doesn't get what he wants on the market, maybe we just re-sign him on a cheaper deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I wouldn't be tripping to like maybe, I got to trade this guy now before I have to pay him. I just, you know, I'd let it go. I'd let it rock.
You think the Bucks would bring Bobby Portis to the Spurs?
Yeah, it's a potential option.
I need a big that can space next to Wemby.
But I love the big
defender.
three of Fox, KD, and Wemby.
Love
with that 14.
I love it.
Like Colin Murray
Yes,
Boyles a lot.
I think it would be awesome.
If he's
really
at 13.
14 if he's there.
I don't know if he'll fall that far.
I don't want to get caught in semantics.
Like in a situation where
'Cause I
De'Aaron
love
Fox, he doesn't have to settle for jump shots and he can just drive to the rim, pressure the basket, and he has that spacing around him. I like it a lot.
It's cool.